Hello, and welcome to this edition of Shawnee Extra, a news program that provides information about Shawnee High School to the viewing audience of the Lenape Regional High School District. I'm Grace Hill, joined by Scott Hoover.
With every rebound, layup, foul shot, and dribble, the Shawnee girls basketball team works to improve their team's success. Hannah Brown and Blair Brinster have the opportunity to talk to head coach Miss McGovern and Captain Jen Byrne to learn more about this impressive team.
Hello, I'm Hannah Brown reporting for Shawnee Extra. 6 days a week from December to February, the girls' basketball team works hard on the court, striving to improve their skills and beat rival teams. Blair Brinster and I spoke with Coach McGovern and Captain Jen Byrne to learn more about what it means to play basketball for Shawnee.
I play basketball because of my height, but because I also love the sport, and I think it's the most competitive sport you can play.
This has been my third season coaching the Shawnee varsity team. You know, I miss the days of playing, so I feel like I tell these girls I play through them.
What's unique about basketball is the fact that you can play offense and defense right after each other. A lot of sports, you're either a defender, you're an attacker, and basketball, I think you have the opportunity to play both.
Everyone has to be involved for our team to be successful. See, my role is, making our practice intense and an environment that will lead to success.
The game experience is high-level intensity. You lose your mind within the game. You don't listen to the crowd. You just listen to your teammates, and it's a fun hour and a half.
Basketball is a long season in the winter. It's a big commitment. Every opponent this year has been tough for us. So we've really had to focus game by game getting our girls ready. We focus on a lot more short-term goals. We start in the beginning of the season and we just progress and progress and progress. And I love seeing how they adapt to the changes and adapt to the things that we work on in practice, and they implement it in the game. So it's not necessarily always the wins and losses, but it's, how did you overcome a certain obstacle?
The sport of basketball teaches patience, determination, and integrity, I think. So you learn a lot about yourself in the game.
We try to build life lessons with our girls and, how are you going to handle things in the real world and how can you relate it to basketball?
The girls' basketball team has an excellent reputation for hard work, and with their will to win, there's nothing stopping them from achieving more success. I'd like to thank Coach McGovern and Captain Jen Byrne for speaking with us. For Shawnee Extra, I'm Hannah Brown. Now back to the studio.
Ever wonder what goes on behind the scenes during plays and musicals, or how those sets are built? Talon and Nola got a chance to sit down with members of stage crew to find out.
Hello, I'm Talon Lauriello reporting here for Shawnee Extra. Nola Calipax and I had a chance to speak with Hunter Smith and Mr. Harris about Stage Crew, a club which allows students to work together to orchestrate set displays for musicals and plays on the high school stage. This is Stage Crew.
Stage Crew is a learning opportunity in which students can have to learn about what goes on behind the scenes during a musical production.
We do all the stuff behind the scenes for the theater program, and building and painting to make it so we can make the show the best thing we can.
My role is a stage crew advisor, so it's my job to see that sets get designed, built, also control everything that goes on backstage.
This year's show is Peter Pan, and it's directed by Miss Gina Keel. Usually we start off with the ideas in mind of what Miss Keel usually wants us to build. First, we make a bunch of different designs. We have the set design crew all planning out what they want to do, and then we start working slowly and building and coming up with ideas. Like this show, we had a lot of, we don't know how to do it, so we had to make little mini tests, and then once we figured out what worked and what didn't, we implemented those for the actual set designs.
Some examples of what's done on Stage Crew is mostly moving the sets on and off the stage. When there is a scene change, there's usually a blackout or perhaps a curtain closing, and then it's our job to get whatever sets or props that are on the stage off and the new ones on, so that the cast is able to work with a whole different scene and make sure they have all their props.
Stage Crew works with the cast members and tech crew to provide a show that the audience will never forget. I'd like to thank Hunter Smith and Mr. Harris for speaking with us. And now, for Shawnee Extra, I'm Talon Lauriello, sending it back to the news desk.
Indoor percussion trains student musicians in the pit and drumline during the off-seasons of marching band. Fabiana Ferraiolo had the opportunity to speak with Captain Kayla Adornetto and music director Mr. Nick Rotindo to talk about what goes on in the band room after hours.
Hello, I'm Fabiana Ferraiolo here for Shawnee Extra. Indoor percussion has a variety of instruments that shows off talents from students of all grades. I had the opportunity to speak with the indoor percussion captain and advisor.
Indoor percussion is a group that meets after school. It's an extension of our marching band drumline program, and it allows the kids that are in the pit, which is the mallet instruments you see behind me, and the drumline, which is all the marching snares, the marching tenor drums, and the marching bass drums, allows them to play all year long. In some schools, they just end in November and they don't play again until July. We do an indoor program that allows the kids to continue to play and hone their skills throughout the whole year.
So people should join indoor because it's a lot of fun. It's less pressure and less demanding than marching band, but you don't need any experience. It's like a smaller group of kids, so you all become pretty close.
This is our first year of doing an indoor show that they're going to perform at the Jazz Festival this year. But in years past, we had a competitive standstill line about, I guess, 6 years ago. And then for a while there wasn't the interest from the drummers and the pit members to do it, and this year we had interest from the kids, so we decided to do it again. So it's about 3 years we've offered the program, but it's been a few years since we've had it here.
Performance is just us, so it's a little bit like, it's focused more on percussion.
I think it's a great experience. It's a great group of kids, and it gets them part of a group where they can be amongst others that want to work hard and want to be great. And I think it's also, sometimes just when you play with the percussion and the drums and surrounded by that intensity of what you hear and how it feels when you hear all the drums playing at once, I think it's a great feeling. I think kids would really enjoy it.
The pit has become really close, especially this past year. We've become closer this year than I think ever before in pit history. So that's really cool.
Indoor percussion trains students that will help with a music-based career. I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Nick Rotindo and Kayla Etter. For Shawnee TV, I'm Fabiana Ferraiolo. Now back to the news desk.
The Shawnee School Store is open almost every day, and the shelves are always stocked with fresh clothes and delicious snacks. Sean Etter and Ian Arena went down to the store to find out just how much the store benefits our Shawnee family.
Hi, I'm Sean Etter, reporting for Shawnee Extra. Every day of the school year, the Shawnee School Store is open for business. The school store is a nonprofit organization run by Shawnee students for Shawnee students and is open every day in the A hallway. Recently, Ian Arena and I sat down with Mrs. Derpilbazian, the school store's manager, and Lauren Trent, a student employee, to find out what the school store is all about.
The school store is open during the school day and a little bit after school. We offer all Shawnee clothing, some fan merchandise, but everything is generic, so it's not specific for any clubs, activities, bands, or sports or anything like that.
It gives me the opportunity to actually one-on-one sell with someone, depending on what they're looking for. I can ask them questions to figure out what they would need or what they want, and then recommend some things since I work there. Yeah, it's given me the opportunity to be, I guess, sort of like a salesperson.
The money that the store produces goes back to senior scholarships. We usually give out 2 scholarships to student employees, and then 2 go towards a DECA member, and then 2, I believe, go towards an overall business student.
A lot of parents come in, or teachers. Usually they are the ones who buy more clothes, and underclassmen buy clothes too, incoming freshmen like to buy Shawnee apparel.
The way the store benefits the school as a whole is that it provides unity and school spirit. When the kids buy things in the store, they're kind of wearing their Shawnee gear with pride or to a game and things like that. We do have our set schedule on our website with our hours, and we're open pretty much every day after school. Everybody's welcome to come in, check us out. Even if you're not interested in buying something, I highly recommend everybody come and check us out.
The Shawnee School Store is open every day during school, and online orders can be found on the Shawnee website on the Shawnee School Store page found under the Activities link. I'd like to thank Mrs. Derpilbazian and Lauren Trent for speaking with us today about the school store. Now, back to you, News Desk.
Jazz band helps students to improve as musicians and share their interests with others. Patrick Konopka had an opportunity to speak with a student and the advisor for the club. Let's take an inside look at jazz band.
Hello, I'm Patrick Konopka, reporting for Shawnee Extra. Jazz band is a great activity for those that want to have an interesting pastime and hang out with some friends. I had the opportunity to interview Mr. Rotindo and Nate Cromie for jazz band. Here's what they had to say about the activity.
The Jazz Ensemble is a class here. We actually have 2 jazz bands here at Shawnee, a Jazz Ensemble, which is their top group, and then the jazz band, and both are very, very good groups. Both are a class that students could select to take, and both groups are auditioned, and those auditions take place in the spring, year before the class runs.
Jazz band throughout my high school career has helped me, become a better musician. It's helped me really develop skills that I'm going to take into college with me.
The whole purpose of the jazz band and jazz ensemble class is to teach the students how to perform perform and play in the jazz idiom, and also to teach history and to teach style. My hope is when they get through the class that they can improvise through standard blues changes and they're able to perform in the jazz style.
Coming out of middle school jazz band, I came into the Shawnee band program and been involved with marching band, jazz band, all those programs. I like the feel of jazz better. I like the sound of it. It's a lot more fun for me to play personally, and I think it's got a lot of potential idea-wise. Like, you can take it a lot farther, I think.
Every year the bands are great. Come the end of the year, I think that last year we finished third at the state finals for our school size, which was a big accomplishment. We've also this year finished fourth at the Berkeley Jazz Festival in Boston, which is a national jazz festival, the biggest one-day jazz festival in the country. So we've been very fortunate. You know, we put on great groups, but every year, every group I'm very proud of in the end. They all work the hardest, and when you're getting judged in something as subjective as jazz, sometimes, you know, you can't make it all about placement, so it's about the performance, and every year it's great performances, and I'm proud of the kids for that.
Jazz band is a great activity for those that want to make new friends and share an interesting pastime of music. I would like to thank Mr. Rotindo and Nate Cromie for letting me interview them. I'm Patrick Konopka, and back to the studio.
Every year, tens of thousands of high school and college-age students participate in Model United Nations conferences around the world. Benjamin Leavens got the chance to speak with students that participate in these conferences through Shawnee's World Affairs Council.
Hello, I'm Benjamin Leavens, reporting for Shawnee Extra. The World Affairs Council raises awareness for world issues throughout Shawnee. They also go to conferences where they debate world issues. Having experience with the club myself, I was able to give my opinion on it and also ask the advisor, Mr. Castor, about it.
So World Affairs Council is a really exciting club. What we do is we have students that work in a team to research important global issues and represent various countries throughout the world on those issues. And through their group discussion, students actually come up and create solutions to some of the most significant challenges the world's facing.
It would be useful to know a decent amount about world affairs and world issues. I personally do, and that's partly why I joined, so I could discuss the issues with people that are informed as well. But to be perfectly honest, you don't really need to know that much about it, because at the conferences you can just kind of learn as you go. But at the very least, you should have an interest in world affairs and world issues.
So Model United Nations is basically when we bring a large group of students together to simulate the kinds of things and the kinds of discussions that are actually taking place at the United Nations. For example, a student might be asked to represent the United Kingdom on issues of immigration or access to health care, and the student would research, okay, what's going on with the United Kingdom? What are their views? What is the United Kingdom's take on this particular issue? And then with that information, they work with students, a large group of other students who have done research on that similar topic, just representing different countries, and then they work together to come up with a mutually agreed upon solution, known as a resolution.
The World Affairs Council is obviously a fun and expanding club throughout Shawnee. I would like to thank Mr. Castor for talking with me. Once again, Benjamin Leavens reporting for Shawnee Extra. Now back to the news desk.
The Winter Musical helps young students perfect their craft in musical theater on stage. Galen Ekimov and Scott Hoover stopped by to get a closer look behind the scenes.
I'm Scott Hoover, reporting for Shawnee Extra. The Winter Musical works tirelessly to create a show for the community. Every year, they put in countless hours into singing, acting, and dancing for the show. We had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Joubert, the vocal director, and Kira Fisher, a member of the cast.
Every year, you wait for the musical to happen because there's nothing like the feeling of being on stage, nothing like the feeling of performing with your family, with the directors and making the directors proud. And I get up on the stage and everything else fades away. And I think if I hadn't done the musical all 4 years, I wouldn't have been able to understand that feeling. And I think people that don't ever do it don't really understand it.
Our winter musical is perhaps the largest activity that runs at Shawnee High School. There is nothing like it that has such a large number of students from a variety of backgrounds all working together at the same time, where no one is on the sidelines.
It becomes a family because when you have to rely on each other for cues and for making sure that entrances are on time and you're making it look good for the audience, there is a very large trust that comes with that. and if you don't have it, you can't have a good production. So it is a real trusting and loving relationship, and I love that part about it.
The Winter Musical provides an opportunity for students to pursue their passions of performing and music. I know there have been a number of students that have sought to go on to study theater or music in some way at the college level, and I think that our musical program is a wonderful opportunity for them to explore opportunities.
Winter Musical is a place for students to excel in performing on stage. Be sure to look out for next year's musical. I'd like to thank Mr. Joubert and Kira Fisher for speaking with us. For Shawnee Extra, I'm Scott Hoover. Now back to the news desk.
Shawnee's newspaper, The Renegade Report, helps students and teachers know about what's happening in the school. Matt DiDonato interviewed 2 important members of the club. Let's see what he found out.
Hello, this is Matthew DiDonato reporting for Shawnee Extra. The school newspaper lets students know what's going on and what's happening in the school. I had the chance to interview Mrs. Amy, the advisor of the club, and Hannah Brown, a member of the club.
In the newspaper club, we talk about outside issues as well as in-school issues. So we talk about different events that are going on in the school, like blood drive, dances coming up, but we also talk about things on a larger scale, such as local businesses or political events.
We first brainstorm for story ideas, and then we assign a writer to the story, and then the writer goes and researches it, writes it out. Sometimes they write while they're here in the club, sometimes they write on their own, and then we send it to the editor, and the editor looks at it and revises it in any way, and then she sends it to the layout person, and the layout person decides where each piece is going to lay out in the newspaper, and then we send it off to the printer, and there it goes.
Some interesting aspects about being in the newspaper club is hearing everyone's different ideas. Everyone comes up with really creative ideas like different advice columns, political columns, and things like that. So just seeing what everyone has to bring to the table.
The best thing about being in the newspaper is being around all of the energy of the students. They have this energy about them that is just infectious, and they get really excited about things.
I think it really benefits a person who's in newspaper because it keeps them up to date about what's going on. It also helps them with their communication skills to inform people about what's going on.
The newspaper club prints exciting articles and informs students about what's going on in the school. I would like to thank Mrs. Amy and Hannah Brown for letting me interview them. This is Matt DiDonato reporting back to the news desk.
The Shawnee wrestling team is a group of hardworking and determined individuals who all work together for one common goal. Grace Hill and Vaughn Paga got the chance to stop by and learn more about the team.
Hi, I'm Vaughn Paga from Shawnee Extra. Shawnee's wrestling team has a history of competing and working hard each and every day. I had the chance to speak with Coach Man and Senior Captain Isaiah Bryant.
Well, I love the sport of wrestling, so being a coach in the sport of wrestling is something that I take great joy in. It's kind of similar to being a teacher. I mean, you're in essence teaching an athletic activity rather than a content area.
This year we kind of have a young team. Very talented young team.
There are 8 freshmen and sophomores in our starting lineup.
We're using that to our advantage, though. We're strong on our lower weights. We're getting better every day.
Set some goals for ourselves. We've reached one of those goals as far as being in the playoffs.
Taught me how to be a leader, taught me how to be responsible for myself, just all around hard worker.
And then I think there's that natural bonding process that occurs with wrestlers within the community of wrestlers because the things that you do are unique and different than what everybody else does in other sports.
It's the brotherhood. I would say the family you get for 4 years, you gain new friends. It's an amazing experience.
It's always fun when guys become district place winners and region place winners and place in the state tournament.
It's 14 matches, 6 minutes.
We compete as a team, but each individual goes out and competes by themselves.
Each match you wrestle 3 different periods depending on how long they go. They're 2 minutes apart.
It's been a season of growth and improvement and guys maturing.
It really changes your outlook on life and the things that you can do. For me, wrestling really made me realize that I can do anything through hard work. I understand to carry myself wherever I go, on and off the mat. The wrestling team competes hard each day to show their Renegade pride. Make sure to make it out to one of their meets. I'd like to thank Coach Mann and Captain Isaiah Bryant for speaking with us. For Shawnee Extra, I'm Vaughn Paga. Now back to the studio.
Shawnee TV is dedicated to informing the community while training students for a broadcasting career. Anthony Zizzamia got the opportunity to see what it is like behind the camera.
Hello, I'm Anthony Zizzamia reporting for Shawnee Extra. Shawnee TV gives students the opportunity to work in a professional environment, to send out sophisticated news packages and entertainment to staff and students every day. we got a chance to speak with David Hamney, the club president, and Mr. Pistone, the club advisor, about the club.
Shawnee Television is a long-standing program. We're kind of standing on the shoulders of giants. The program's well established, over 20 years history with the television station LDTV. Students who enter this program are treated like they would be if they were working in a real-world television studio environment. So everything is modeled based on what would be expected of you in the field. Quickly, students are put into responsible production positions. They develop shows, they develop content, they develop portfolios for what they would use to get into college or even start working right away at the high school level. So I would say that this program has one of the highest expectations of professionalism.
I'm constantly working on doing stuff with the show or doing live events, or I'm in option 2, so I go out to LDTV and I work sports games, and we're making a music video, and I'm taking these skills that he has given to me and I'm putting them into real life and real world examples.
We have curriculum that trains students over 3 years, and we also have an option 2 program where students can continue at the district television station.
I'm hoping to go into college with a major of TV post-production, at least right now. What I want to do with my life is I think I want to, for a bunch of years, go into the industry and do editing for TV shows, and then after that, go out and teach it.
It's a great program for anybody interested in television broadcast or the film industry.
If you'd like to join Shawnee Television, come down to room A111 anytime. I'd like to thank Mr. Pistone and David Hamney for speaking with us. For Shawnee Extra, I'm Anthony Zizzamia. Now back to the studio.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Shawnee Extra. Be sure to join us next time for updates on everything Shawnee High School. From all of us here at Shawnee TV, see you next time.